victims come from every facet of the community. They're literally at any age, at any stage of life. There are no racial boundaries, there are no sexual boundaries, there are no religious boundaries, there are no economical boundaries. But there's approximately 100,000 people in northern Kentucky. 1 in every 4 children under 18 will be victimized sexually. So that's 25,000 people, 25,000 children, 25,000 victims.
On average, we see around 500 children a year. And the age range of the kids that we see are from 0 to 17. I think the youngest that we've ever seen was about 3 months of age. The Northern Kentucky Children's Advocacy Center at St. Luke Hospital provides services to children when there's been a concern or an allegation of abuse. So we see children who have been sexually abused, physically abused, and also children who witness violent crimes. Prior to our center being here, let me just tell you a little bit about what kids did go through. They were interviewed multiple times. They were interviewed by people who were not trained to do forensic interviewing. They were interviewed in police departments, in interrogation rooms. They were interviewed in their bedrooms, where unfortunately, maybe hours before that, they had been sexually abused. And they were interviewed in rooms where sitting in that room was not only the child, the social worker, but sometimes the person who sexually abused them. It's not fair for kids to have to deal in a grown-up world and deal with grown-up rules to talk about horrible things that happen to them. Our goal at the Northern Kentucky Children's Advocacy Center is to reduce the amount of times that professionals are talking to these kids. Once the child is interviewed, then the forensic interviewer, the social worker, and the police officer together make a decision whether or not the kids need to have a medical exam. We have on staff 3 physicians who are trained in detecting child abuse.
Having the forensic interviewer available to us means we can move a lot quicker towards getting the suspect identified. Having the CAC interview the victims also helps because if the case goes to court, you have a professional who interviewed the child and it's impeachable testimony.
Absolutely, without a doubt, the Child Advocacy Center makes our job easier. It makes it better from the standpoint that we can get convictions now in cases that we may not have been able to get convictions on before without the Child Advocacy Center's input. It makes us feel better when we are able to convict a child abuser.
It is horrific for children to go through this abuse, but it's equally as horrific for parents. They grieve the loss of their children's childhood.
I just hurt for him so bad to know that he'd been holding that inside for so long. That I didn't know to help him.
I knew that it was going to affect the family, the whole entire family, in a way that I didn't want to have to be responsible for.
Child abuse, it's not just one person that's affected. There's a lot more to it. When they commit these crimes, they're not just hurting one person.
Our family advocates are critical to the healing of our children, because once the families leave here, they've met someone who will continue to call them. They know that there's someone with them from the very beginning that's going to follow them until they don't need our services anymore.
They were always in our court with information, guidance, and I believe that was very important.
The mission of the Northern Kentucky Children's Advocacy Center is to provide a child-friendly and safe environment. We have about 3 offices, and when you talk about seeing over 500 children a year, this space is a huge problem for us, and it's a barrier, I believe, to providing a comfortable environment for children.
The new center will be located on the campus of St. Luke Hospital West, located in Florence, Kentucky, and that's in the heart of the growth of Northern Kentucky. The additional space will provide opportunity for more access for patients and for much greater ability for law enforcement, social service agencies to come together and to work in the same space.
We also want to expand our services. We want to provide mental health services on staff. We want to provide services to the family, like support groups, where their parents can get together and they can talk about their experience and they can heal from this.
The Children's Advocacy Center is truly a center of excellence, and the individuals in this community have every reason to be extraordinarily proud of the center. It was the first center to be a full member of the National Children's Alliance and to be certified by the National Children's Alliance. It has served as a model in the state of Kentucky, and it serves as a model in the nation.
Before I told anybody, I really had a pretty crummy outlook on life. Coming here, they got me the help I needed. It gives us, I would say closure is the best thing. I wasn't just a victim anymore, I was a hero too, and I was able to make a difference for someone else.
I believe it's our duty and our responsibility as professionals and as individuals who live in the community to make sure that those kids receive the best services to keep them safe, to make sure that they don't suffer long-term damage and long-term pain, and to make sure that they can begin to heal. Our ultimate goal here is that those kids grow up and be successful, happy, healthy adults. And that happens when they walk through the store, because we start that healing process here.